Hello and welcome back to My Own Worst Enemy. I've got an unboxing for you today. This has just arrived. This is, of course, Divine Right. Pungo Games and Worthington has reprinted TSR's Divine Right from 1979. So I thought we would do a quick unboxing just to let you know what the components look like. Now, right off, this box is larger than a standard game box that you would see. So a little bit more square, and it's a lot heavier too. So there probably should be a lot of goodies in here. So like I said, this is Pungo Games and it is published by Worthington. And we are going to dive into this thing and just take a look. I know nothing about the original Divine Right other than that it's been out of print for quite some time and copies have been running online for just obscene amounts of money for that original printing. So I was glad to jump in on this Kickstarter when it hit because I've always wanted to try Divine Right. I just didn't want to pay the hundreds of dollars to obtain a copy. So thank you to Worthington for reprinting this. And we're kind of in a great time for fantasy type war games. We've had Struggle for Zorn came out, and then Burning Banners has come out, and now this Divine Right. So let's take a look and see what we get. And right off we get that looks like a nice print. Just you could almost frame that. Hold this up so you can see it, but it's just a piece of artwork that's included with the game. Nothing on the back, so I like that a lot, and maybe I will hang that up in the studio here, who knows. And here is the rule book, which comes in a nice plastic bag for protection. So let's take a look at that real quick. This is glossy paper, so I'm not a huge fan of that. I like the matte finish better than the glossy finish when it comes to these rule books. So here's the table of contents, and it looks like it's laid out fairly well. Events, diplomacy, sieges, movements, stacking, combat leaders, victory conditions, special notes. There's an advanced game, and it looks like some lore to go along with it. So typical game book here, it's nice print. There's the sequence of play. Like I said, I do not know how to play this game, but there will be a playthrough on this channel at some point, so subscribe to be notified when that happens. And I also will do a playthrough of Burning Banners and hopefully Struggle for Zorn at some point, and whatever other fantasy game that may come out. So looking at the rulebook, and I am familiar with the original map for Divine Right, and I'm curious to see if they've changed anything on that. I've looked at it online and the counters as well, so we'll take a look to see if they've made any major changes to that. I'm sure the components overall are going to be much better than the original printing, especially since Worthington did this. And there's the lore of Mineria, I guess that's pronounced. Different kingdoms there. Credits. Let's look at the credits real quick. I'm trying to do that in the unboxings a bit more. And of course, there's the 1979. So they've got it broken out, the 1979 credits and the 2024 credits. The design in 1979, Glenn and Kenneth Rahman, looks like those were the designers and did a lot of the artwork. And then looking at the update, looks like there wasn't really any further design work done. And I don't see either Glenn or Kenneth's name in the 2024 credits there, so I don't know that they had any additional input to this or not. And then on the back here, we've got, looks just like some places where you can record victory points. So that is the rule book. And this is, well, I said that was the rule book. I guess you get two rule books. Let's see if that is correct. And I've seen this from Worthington before where they will give you two copies of the rule book. So that's actually much appreciated when you are playing this multiplayer. And then these are the player aid cards. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm assuming you get one for each empire. There's a random events table. There's some other tables on here. Retreat before combat, barbarian recruitment. And then, like I said, the terrain effects chart is on the back. I'll let you take a look at that up close. And the artwork does look almost identical to what I remember from seeing in the original printing of this. Let's save the map for last. And we'll take a look at the counters. Not a lot of counters. These are huge counter sheets. The counters look like they're 5/8 inch counters. There are some hexagonal shaped counters that look like cities down there below. And I'll let you take a look at the counters. Looks like these will punch easily. There's the reverse side. So let's punch one out just to see. Yep, pops right out. No need to clip the corners because they are already clipped, or at least designed that way. So that's the first counter sheet. The second counter sheet. And there's the back side of that. Nice. And again, this is just an unboxing to show you the components that you get in this reprint. And then there's a counter tray, or component tray down here in the bottom, and I'm having a hard time getting it out. So there's the dice. The dice are just two basic black D6s. Here's the cards. We'll take a look at those in just a second. And this is that tray, which I may or may not use. There's 6 compartments there, and the lid doesn't go on very good, so that's not good. So I may end up reusing this, although there's not a lot of counters, and it looks like there's not a lot of cards, so maybe I will not need to use a different counter tray. Let's take a look at the cards real quick. So the cards are pretty much just like I like them. They're the poker size cards that have the nice, thick, waxy feel to them. There's kind of a texture to them. And this looks like there are some diplomacy cards. Are these all diplomacy cards? No, there are some identity cards. So let's see what the difference might be. And these are probably just, well, trolls and various empires, or maybe some monsters that are in the game. I'll let you take a closer look at one of those. Very nice cards. The diplomacy cards. Of course, these will be sleeved. Enter the Black Knight, Special Mercenary Leader. So there's some events, it looks like, blackmail. I have no idea what any of this means. Threats, crass bribe. And again, I'll let you take a close look at one of these cards. It's textured, kind of a matte feel to it. They're glossy, they're the waxy feeling cards. The what I think are the higher quality cards when they have that texture to them. And there, it looks like there's some more identity cards here. So some more cards. These are more of those identity cards and personality cards. So that's very interesting. Loyal, elderly, cursed. So you'd probably end up applying these to, well, it says monarchs. So it looks like your monarchs are going to have some of these attributes, these personalities that will go along with them. So that adds to the role-playing aspect of this game, I hope. So that is neat. Now let's take a look at the map here. And it is hard-mounted map. I think the original might have been paper. TSR, I'm probably sure it was. And actually the map looks the same to me as the original. So I'm guessing this is basically just a reprint without much change at all. I think, if I remember correctly, the original, it was a paper map and the colors were a bit brighter. Maybe, maybe not. Like I said, I don't own that copy, so I can't really say. This just looks a little bit more, not as bright. The colors don't pop as much as with the original from what I remember. Like I said, I don't really know. I don't own that game. I own this reprint now, though. So it looks like we have turn tracks on this. We have, and this is interesting, we don't have any hex numbers on the map itself, but we have on the side, you can see it goes from A all the way down to EE, and then on the bottom, we go from 1 to 35, and on the side, it looks like at the top as well, we go from 16 to 50, and then 50 back down to 35. So I'm guessing coordinates on the map will be a little more difficult to read than reading hex numbers. But the map looks good. It looks like what you'd see in a fantasy role-playing game, which I'm okay with because I do like to play role-playing games, or at least read the rules. But it is a nice map. I think I do like this. So there you go. That's it. I wanted to do just a quick unboxing. Like I said, this just arrived. This is Divine Right from Pungo Games and Worthington Publishing. Quick unboxing so you can see what the components look like in case you want to rush out and buy a copy of this. Like I said, this is a reprint of the original TSR 1979 game that has been out of print for quite some time, and prices on the used market were outrageous, but now this has been reprinted, we can all have a chance to play it again, and hopefully it will be a fun game. And like I said, subscribe to the channel if you have not, because I will do a playthrough of this at some point. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you have not, and as always, I look forward to seeing you back here next time. Thank you for watching.